I realized it without peeking at her messages. I didn't catch her in bed with someone else. Before we continue with this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel to support us and stay updated with more amazing stories. Enjoy watching. I found out because she came home calm. Too calm. It was Monday evening, just after sunset. I was sitting on the balcony floor near my work notes with the lights off, scrolling through flights on my laptop. I had been planning a surprise. Not a proposal. Not yet. But something big. Something solid. Something that said, I choose you. The front door opened quietly. No hesitation. No rush. She stepped inside, dropped her bag by the wall, and froze when she saw me. Oh, you're still up? That was the first lie of the night. Still up implies sleep had been an option. I hadn't moved from that chair in 4 hours. Where were you? I asked. My voice didn't shake. That surprised me. She walked past me, straight to the fridge absent-mindedly, grabbed a bottle of water, and took a long drink like she'd just finished a workout. With Ethan, she said. He wasn't doing well. There it was. The name she hadn't said in over a year. The name that always came with a story attached. Ethan. Her ex. The one she described as complicated but misunderstood. The one who just feels things more deeply. The one who never really got over me. I closed my laptop. Doing well how? I asked. She leaned against the counter, arms crossed, already defensive. Already tired of the conversation she hadn't even finished starting. He had a breakdown. Called me out of nowhere. Said he felt like he was drowning. I couldn't just ignore that. She looked at me like the verdict was obvious. Like any reasonable person would nod and say, of course. I nodded. Did you call anyone else? I asked. What do you mean? Friends? Family? Emergency services? Anyone trained to handle a crisis? Her jaw tightened. No, he just needed someone he trusted. That was the second lie. Or maybe the first truth disguised as one. I stood up. As I did, something small but sharp cut through the air. The smell. Not the scent of panic or sweat or hospital disinfectant. It was cologne. Expensive. Woody. Familiar. And under it, alcohol. You smell like you went out, I said. Her eyes flicked away for half a second. Just long enough. We sat. We talked. He had a few drinks. I didn't want to leave him alone. Where did you sit? I asked. She exhaled hard. Why are you interrogating me? I didn't answer. Silence does that job better. His apartment, she said finally. We watched a movie. I crashed on the couch. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. 3 words that have ended more relationships than cheating ever did. I walked past her, down the hallway, and into the bedroom. Are you seriously walking away right now? She called after me. This is exactly what I mean. You shut down instead of communicating. I opened the closet and pulled out a duffel bag. That's when her tone changed. Wait, what are you doing? I started folding clothes. Not everything. Just enough. Can you stop for 1 second? She said, stepping into the doorway. You're being dramatic. I didn't look at her. Dramatic would be yelling, I said. This is just efficient. She laughed. Short, sharp, fake. You're really doing this because I helped someone who was struggling. I reached into the nightstand drawer. Not for my wallet, not for my phone, for the folded note. Her laughter died instantly. I hadn't planned on her seeing it. It was supposed to stay hidden another week. Maybe 2. She stared at it like it might explode. What's that? She asked. I slid it out, not opening it. Her face changed in real time. Confidence draining, color leaving. Her shoulders slumping as realization hit her before confirmation ever could. You were planning something, she whispered. I zipped the duffel bag. Was that for me? I didn't answer. I slipped the folded note into my jacket pocket. That's when she panicked. No, 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 no. You don't get to do this. You don't get to punish me for being a good person. I finally looked at her. I'm not punishing you, I said. I'm listening to you. She shook her head wildly. You're twisting this. You always do this. You make it about you when it's not. I picked up the bag. Please, she said, don't leave like this. Her grip was tight, desperate. I gently removed her hand. If you needed a piece of paper to understand why staying at your ex's place overnight crosses a line, I said quietly, then we were already done. Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. I walked past her, out the front door, and didn't look back. The hallway felt longer than usual, like the building itself was holding its breath. When I reached my car, my phone buzzed. One message. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. I sat there for a full minute before starting the engine. Then I drove. I didn't feel angry. I felt awake, and that scared me more than anything. The first night was quiet. Too quiet. I checked into a cheap hotel near the freeway, the kind with neutral art on the walls and a lobby that smelled faintly like cleaning chemicals and burned coffee. I threw the duffel bag onto the bed, sat down, and stared at the folded note in my jacket pocket. I didn't open it. I didn't need to. My phone lit up for the first time around 1:12 a.m. Her name. I let it ring. Then again. And again. By 2 a.m., there were 11 missed calls and a wall of messages waiting for me. I read them in order, like pages from a very predictable book. Please pick up. I'm freaking out. I can't believe you just left me. I didn't do anything wrong. I stayed because he needed help. Why are you doing this to me? You're acting like I cheated. I would never cheat on you. I thought you trusted me. Answer me. Answer me. This is cruel. I put the phone face down. Sleep came in fragments, shallow and restless. By morning, the messages had shifted tone. You're being incredibly selfish. You always think you're better than everyone else. So what? I'm not allowed to care about people. You left without even talking to me. This is emotional manipulation. You're punishing me for having empathy. I showered, dressed, and went to work. Numbers don't care about your personal life. Around noon, my phone rang again. Unknown number. I answered it. What the hell is wrong with you? Maya, her best friend. I closed my office door. She hasn't eaten. She hasn't slept. She's been crying all morning. Are you proud of yourself? I'm at work, I said calmly. Oh, so now you're calm. After pulling a disappearing act, you don't just abandon someone like that. I didn't abandon her, I replied. I left a situation that crossed a boundary. A boundary. You're calling this a boundary now. She helped someone in crisis. Did she call a doctor? I asked. A hotline. Anyone trained. That's not the point. That's exactly the point. You waved that written plan in her face. I didn't wave anything. I packed my things. You wanted to hurt her. No, I wanted to leave. She was going to marry you. So was I. Until I wasn't. I hung up. That evening, the messages softened. I miss you. The apartment feels wrong without you. I found your jacket. It still smells like you. Then one more. Ethan blocked me. He said I overreacted. I didn't think it would cost me everything. That was the moment something clicked. I wasn't competing with her ex. I was competing with chaos. I muted her thread. On Sunday afternoon, I went back to the apartment. She was there. Please, she said, just listen. I'm just getting my stuff. He used me. I don't know why I keep trying to save him. I blocked him. I swear. I chose you. I came home to you. You came home because you were done. Not because you chose me. She cried. If I had known what was in that written plan, I never would have gone. You shouldn't need a future reward to respect the present. As I carried the last box down the stairs, my neighbor spoke. There's been a lot of late-night company lately. Loud car, parks in your spot. I didn't reply. Some things aren't broken. They're just finished. Time did what it always does. It revealed patterns. The first 2 weeks after I left were loud on her end and quiet on mine. I stayed busy on purpose. Early mornings, late workouts, long days at work that ended with takeout and silence, the good kind. She, on the other hand, spiraled. I didn't hear it directly. I heard it the way you always do, through other people. Half sentences, drunk confessions, awkward pauses when your name comes up. Apparently, once I stopped responding, she started reaching outward. To friends, to coworkers, to anyone who would listen. She told them I had blindsided her, that I abandoned her, that I punished her for being compassionate. Some of them believed her. Some of them didn't. I didn't correct anyone. I didn't need to. A month later, a mutual friend slipped up at a birthday party. "She's back with Ethan," he said, then immediately realized he shouldn't have. I just nodded. It made sense. Of course she was. Ethan was familiar, predictable in his unpredictability. He didn't expect structure or accountability. He didn't notice when the apartment bills were paid late or when plans fell apart. He lived moment to moment. That had always felt like passion to her. The irony was that once I was gone, she tried to turn him into me. That didn't go well. 2 months passed. I moved out of the hotel and into a small apartment closer to work. Nothing fancy. Clean. Quiet. Mine. I bought a second-hand couch, a decent desk, and blackout curtains. For the first time in years, the space around me reflected the state of my mind. Calm. Work noticed too. Without the constant background noise of managing someone else's emotions, I was sharper, more focused. I took on projects I used to avoid because I knew they would require long hours and mental energy I never had. 3 weeks later, my manager pulled me aside. Promotion. Raise. More responsibility. I accepted without hesitation. That night, I went home and sat on the floor of my empty living room, eating noodles out of the container, and felt something unexpected. Gratitude, not for the pain, for the clarity. Around the same time, the updates about her got darker. Ethan had moved in, not officially. Just his stuff at first, a backpack, a guitar, then more clothes, then his friends, loud ones, always over, always drinking. She covered rent when he couldn't, bought groceries he forgot to pay for, made excuses. When she asked him to help out, he laughed it off. She was being controlling. She was killing the vibe. She needed to relax. Those were his words. They were familiar. By month 3, she was borrowing money. By month 4, she wasn't hiding it anymore. A coworker of mine ran into her at a bar one night, said she looked exhausted, said she cried in the bathroom for 20 minutes, said Ethan left with someone else. That was the first time I felt something twist in my chest. Not jealousy, relief, because it confirmed what I already knew. It had never been about me being insufficient. It had been about me being inconvenient. I didn't reach out. I didn't check her social media. I didn't ask questions. Life kept expanding. I started climbing again. Something I'd stopped because it made her nervous. Met people who were present, grounded, comfortable in their own skin. That's where I met Anna. She didn't ask about my past on the first date. She didn't test my boundaries. She didn't disappear and reappear with explanations. She showed up, consistently. We took things slow, on purpose, no drama, no emotional whiplash, just honesty. 6 months after the night I left, I ran into her again. Not online, in person. I was at a furniture store on a Tuesday evening, testing out chairs for my new place. I felt it before I saw her. That familiar sensation of being watched. I turned around. She looked smaller. Not physically. Something else. Like life had taken more than she'd expected and hadn't given much back. Her clothes were worn, her posture closed. She hesitated before walking toward me, like she wasn't sure I was real. She said my name quietly. I nodded. She asked how I was doing. I told her the truth. I'm good. That seemed to hurt her more than anger ever could. She told me she was staying with a friend, that things hadn't worked out, that she had learned a lot. I listened. I didn't interrupt. She asked if we could talk. Really talk. I checked the time. I had somewhere to be. She looked at me then. Really looked. At the calm, at the distance, at the fact that I no longer needed anything from her. And she understood. The worst part wasn't losing me. It was realizing I had built a life she no longer fit into. I told her I wished her well, and I meant it. Then I walked out into the evening air. There was still one conversation left. The final one. And I knew exactly what I was going to say. The final conversation didn't happen the way she probably imagined. There was no dramatic confrontation, no tears in public, no last desperate attempt to rewrite history. It happened quietly. 2 days after we ran into each other at the store, she messaged me. She asked if we could talk, just once, for closure. I agreed, not because I needed it, because I no longer feared it. We met at a small cafe near my office. Neutral ground, no memories attached. She was already there when I arrived, sitting stiffly with a coffee she hadn't touched. She stood when she saw me. I stayed standing. She apologized, not vaguely, not defensively. She said she knew she hurt me. She said she took me for granted. She said she didn't realize what she had until it was gone. I listened. Then she said the part she'd clearly rehearsed. She said she had changed, that losing me forced her to grow, that she finally understood what stability meant, that she wanted to try again. Slowly, carefully, she asked if there was any part of me that still believed in us. I didn't answer right away. I looked at her face, at the fatigue, at the hope mixed with fear. Then I told her the truth. I told her that the night I left, something fundamental shifted, that I didn't fall out of love. I outgrew the version of myself that accepted uncertainty as passion. I told her I realized trust isn't proven by patience. It's proven by choices. I told her that when she stayed, she didn't just choose him. She chose chaos, and chaos always demands more than you can afford. She asked about the folded note. I nodded. I told her what it was, what it represented, and what I did with it. I told her I sold it, that the money helped me move forward, that it became the foundation of a life built on peace instead of tension. That part broke her. Not because of the ring, because it meant the future she imagined had already been repurposed. She asked if I was seeing someone. I told her yes. I told her she was kind, honest, present. I told her there were no tests, no emergencies, no exes waiting in the wings, just two adults choosing each other every day. She nodded slowly. She said she understood. I believed her. But understanding doesn't reverse consequences. When we stood to leave, she hesitated. She said she hoped I was happy. I told her I was, not because everything was perfect, but because everything was honest. That was the last time we spoke. I walked out of the cafe and into a life that no longer required constant vigilance. No more reading between lines. No more managing someone else's chaos. No more mistaking intensity for intimacy. What I learned is simple, love isn't proven by how much you tolerate. It's proven by what you refuse to accept. Peace is not boring. It's earned. And once you choose it, you never negotiate with chaos again.